body betrays your degeneracy.
Yeah, Measurehead. His body totally betrays his degeneracy.
Are you admiring my morphophysiology? It must be frightening to stand in the shadow of this racial pinnacle. Be calm, Sandwich. You are not in danger because you are not a threat to me. You have succumbed to Al-Ghul. You reek of it. An invisible sword of Al-Ghul emerges from your throat. You cannot see it, but others can. It is making the woman in my company sick. No, you don't. You need to get another drink. Occidental Haplogroup B4 is done giving orders around here. The influence of the ham sandwich race is waning. Begging for help. Attempting to pass fear for cooperation. How far the Occidental Haplogroup has fallen. You were once a noble and powerful race. You gave the world eugenics, electricity, and powerful weapons of war like missiles and aerostatic aircraft. You made great gains in metallurgy, race theory, and statecraft. You dominated lesser cultures, like the deformed Hemians and the inexplicably potato-obsessed Khoikos. But now your ascent to the genetic summit has halted. You are obsessed with sadness and with frivolous pop culture. You will be superseded. Isn't that right, babe?
It is, baby, yeah. You know it.
There is a button right behind him, just out of reach. It must be the one that opens the door to the harbor.
Enough with this begging. You should leave the stage of history with dignity by inviting the other races to a great world war. Bring your troops to the Simonine Islands and to Boogie Street and we will pulverize you. When you are gone, we will build a museum for you. The walls will be lined with bottles of Al-Ghul, your beloved beverage. Inside, we will store the odes to homosexuality you call art, and your microcephalic skulls.
Ask what kind of races there are first. Classification is core to this stuff.
Do you?
There are are three categories of race. Type A, the heroic races. Type B, the servile races. And the vile CF race cauldron of pederasty. Which one do you need education on? Those are the Simonese, the Areopagite, and the Occidentals, excluding the Maun, of course. The Maun are riddled with eczema to the point where they find it impossible to smile. They are all lactose intolerant, a common result of inbreeding. A receding genetic pool has led the Maun on reprehensible street parades. In Maun cities like Stadskanal and Vredefort, wearing wooden clogs on their feet and little green tassels on their hats. You know them by the names of their nation states. The Oranese, the Gotwaldians, and the Königsteiners. My people simply call them Maun.
Mahun is a derogative term for First World people of Gotwaldian descent. They do not all have eczema. Also, people of Katla, like the Suru and the Uhu, are much more lactose intolerant. You're welcome.
The Maun are proof that you can have too much Occidental racial purity and tassel-centric culture. Inbreeding has led to a lactose-intolerant subrace whom no one can take seriously.
Colorful tassels are, let's be honest, not a good sartorial choice for this century. You might want to avoid wooden clogs too.
The Vespertines and Messenians of Vesper and Messina, the ancient Meteorans of Meteo by the golden Pisantic Sea, the Suren of Sur la Clé, the other large mondial civilization, the Mesk, are too yellow and oleaginous to count as a heroic race. True, they are violent and expansionist, but they have a glandular problem.
Yes.
Overproduction of sebum. Sebum is leaking into their brains, making them listen to El Mariachi music and eat toxic minced meat-based food, which in turn only produces more sebum. As proven by the Maun and the Mesk, Occidental Type A is in retrograde. The Simonese and the Areopagite are on the ascent. The indigenous people of this, the Insulindian archipelago. The Simonese inhabit the southern island. The Areopagites are the master race of the Ilmaran deserts. The Simonese are descendants of them. The Areopagites are sleek, long-headed. The Simonese are powerful, mesomorphic. The former is an immutable progenitor, unchanged since the super isola of the latter is perfected and adapting. Together,
Nature was not capable of more.
Type B are the unheroic races, amorphous non-competitors of the great.
The Khoikos of Gra, Yugo, Zhimsk, Shest et al. Are what you would call white officer in a suspect description.
Yes, to an untrained eye, the Koiko appear white and pinkish, like a hands-on witch. But look into their eyes and you will see. Pinkness is a racial quality that has to be earned through centuries of advanced ballistic warfare and cultural domination that the Grad people have undergone for drinking, alrul, and smoking. The Koiko, the countless micronationalities, Revacholians, halfway between Type A and the racial called
Is it 82,000 years that we've been recording history? You have very little idea of what is happening, but that seems a little off.
Yes, go with you.
The revolution came to Ravachol from Grad. In the revolution is enough of Tibet. Tips CF are a museum of failed chimeric experiments and tragic maladaptations. They are tortured creatures waiting to be put to sleep. Your morbid interest in them worries me. It would be cruel to you understand nothing. To solve the great race enigma, you have to first ask yourself, what is the race enigma? You have not even worded the mystery. We will see.
Access to the Union is important for our investigation. There may be another way, without becoming a race theoretician.
Am I mildly worried he might take it seriously? The lieutenant thinks. Yes, I am, he concludes. I am worried.
Lost, though. I cannot possibly imagine what else we have to discuss, Tibet Vacholian. Your love for disco music and venereal racists are generally not very good examples of their race.
Welcome to Revachol. You hear him yell at a redhead woman. He must think redheads are immigrants.
I am not like them. I am craniometric perfection. I have taken the trouble to permanently draw a phrenologic grid on my skull and features. This should dispel any doubt. You exhibit forward projection of the jaw, indicative of schizophrenia and sexual inaccountability. From a purely aesthetic standpoint, the dimple in your jaw makes you look like a baby. This is not craniometric. It is impossible to see any more of your bone structure. It is covered in the ravages. This leads me to conclude you are not a police officer. You are a common criminal, an offspring of your racial heritage is uninteresting. It is the same as all Revacholians. Your parents and their parents made the decision to reproduce while under the influence of Al-Ghul. Don't be vulgar. White or not has got little to do with this. The race in Mr. Claire is a man of vision and means. Also, to serve is noble. It takes discipline. Your petulant individualism has only contributed to your race failure. It is lax and moronic. Jam. Individualism. You have gotten these ideas from degenerate youth culture, have you not? You have picked them up from rock and roll. Offshoots of the Seminoles people invented disco while having sex under the influence. I am not surprised you enjoy it so much. This has happened to many of the side products of the inevitable cultural victory of the Seminoles race. What you need is to come to terms with extinction and never getting into this harbor.
I think this racist is better than the last, but the next racist will be the really good one.
That will be the...
He will grant us 3 wishes.
Your pedomorphic friend has quick wits, a protruding occiput, and an intent.
The lieutenant does not flinch.
You should keep him close. The congenital defect of farsightedness does not render him a complete invalid. He still has the...
We still need to get into the harbor. There's an interview to conduct. There must be another way.
What's this? We're getting reports of normal, reasonable, temperate, political opinions somewhere in Martinez. It's also about that, but it's also more. Perhaps it's the hangover. Perhaps it's a temporary surge of serotonin. It's time to become a citizen of the Kingdom of Conscience. It is not a place. It is a moment in time that can only arise in the right circumstances. In all of human history, it's only incrementally. History's greatest catastrophes have been brought about by people trying to make the world a better place. Too quickly. That's the genius of Dolores Day. She recognized that progress is meaningless if its gains are lost because of instability. Real, lasting change can only come about gradually, increment by increment. The kingdom is difficult to comprehend, and even more difficult to describe, partly because humanity will need to discard many of the categories that define and limit it today. The kingdom of conscience is post-capitalist, post-national. It's also post-industrial, post-ideological, and even post-sexual. Slow down, Mr. Reasonable. Did you miss the part about compromising and taking things slow? That's right. Remember, real democracy is just around the corner for Revachol. When that real democracy... inconspicuous pile of the roofing because there's a secret door hidden behind the panels of Eternite. That's why. There it is. You see a shabby little door.
What is this then? A tool shed? Let
Be still, my beating heart. It's amphetamine. Sweet amphetamine. The lieutenant isn't studying the powder in the mirror. He's studying you.
Of course, detective. Swift justice. Don't worry, we don't have to investigate every trace of narcotics.
Yeah, swift, lightning justice. Faster, harder, justicer.
See that ladder there? It's probably another way into the industrial harbor, no? A secret path the local kids use.
Looks like someone left his tarpaulin cloak hanging on the railing here. When the wind ruffles the cloak, you can most definitely see a white rectangle on its back.
Yes, it's probably yours. It bears the RCM insignia, and you have a habit of being careless with your equipment. You could probably make the jump. You look like you've done some track and field in your day.
Hi.
The wind is aggressive up here. The lieutenant looks at the enormous crane towering in the distance over the container yard. The look in his eyes is a mix of the engineer-like interest and the wonder of a 6-year-old seeing a horse for the first time. That machine is a Kvalsund 1020 HK.
Is it? Kvalsund makes a lot of heavy equipment, but this is phenomenal, even for them. But I digress. We were focusing on your cloak here. The cloak? I do think it's yours, yes. As to whether you should go for it? Well, it doesn't seem too dangerous.
The cloak looks like a bag of goodies floating in the wind. Who knows what its pockets may hide? tarpaulin cloak with possible RCM markings is still caught on the railing. Tarpaulin cloak with possible RCM markings is still caught on the railing. As you leap in the air, a chilly breeze engulfs you, sharpening your senses. Ankles tingling from the tension, blood roaring in your... As the concrete floor welcomes you, you realize it's been a while since you felt so...
Hell yeah! My climbing might not have been as disco as your jump, but can we still get an ace's high?
With your feet firmly planted on the concrete, the noise of the harbor rushes back in.
Yes?
An imposing combination of a punch clock and a payphone is looking down at you from the wall. On second glance, someone has forgotten to properly close one of the drawers.
It's unfortunate for the Union to just leave their paperwork lying around like this.
Let's see what's inside, he thinks.
Yes.
The drawer opens smoothly. Inside is a well-organized selection of hundreds of documents containing logistical data. Two kinds of transactions stand out. Materials coming into Revachol from the outside world, from Muindi, Grad, and even Ilmara, and the same materials being handed over to companies inside Revachol. It's hard to make sense of this thicket of company names, dates, quantities, and percentages. You try to focus. Whatever's hidden here is hidden well. Concentration isn't enough. Only a trained accountant with a background in logistics would be able. It appears to be a to-do list written in large, uneven. Remember, Leo, Everard's shoes, special whirling borscht, water Everard's plants, sweep office floor, more banners. All items on the list have been crossed out, and the note itself.
Everard Clare, probably. The head of the Debarders Union. One of his aides must have...
The special borscht seems a bit odd in the list. The drawer slides shut. snow is quietly covering the numerous wine bottles and cigarette butts on the ground. Someone partied.
Well, yes, I think we can say with relative confidence that it was you. Yes, this looks pretty advanced, all right. For now.
This is the night watchman's booth. The name on the door reads, René Arnaud. Listen, it's okay to take a few minutes to yourself. Sit down and have a breather.
If you must. But please hurry.
Nothing incriminating catches your eye. The cabinets are clean and their sparse contents meticulously organized. There's a framed photograph.
Let's get going. The entire neighborhood can see us up here.
Container, I'll turn you nice and red. Container, put the logos on.
The lyrics to this container song are being made up as he goes along. The accent is so thick, it's impossible not to notice he's Ubi, from the vanishing peninsula of Ubisunt on Muindi.
Container, used to be Wild Pines. Container, now belongs to Everard. Everard, he looks after everyone. Huh? Well, hey there. How can I help you, mister?
The look in his deep blue eyes is as sincere as you've ever seen.
I see you are not a union man, mister. Did you get lost? You're not one of them scabs, are you? I mean, I don't personally mind. Folks is just folks, you know, and folks gotta eat. Just some of the other guys don't look too kindly on the scabbing kind, if you know what I mean, mister. Oh, most of the guys are down at the gates, keeping the scabs from coming in. We're on a strike. The whole union is. You don't have to work when you're on strike. Ha! We haven't worked for 2 months now.
So no one is working?
Not everyone is down there, of course. Mr. Everard is in his office, where he always is. And Jean-Luc is guarding the gate. But Titus and his boys got into some drunken trouble and Everard sent them on a nice vacation. For a week or so. Oh, I'm not really supposed to talk about that. That's union business. Him and his boy stirred up something in town. Probably drank too much and got into a fight or something.
Don't go all bad cop on this simple, friendly fellow.
I guess the boys got a bit too rowdy and had to let out some steam. I don't really know the details. That's just how...
Easy, Leo. Let's keep this on the hearties.
Too late. Leo's mouth is still moving, and the words are spewing forth. Words. Now he's talking about some drunk sawmill owner who... No. He already switched to a prized fishing rod he apparently owned at some point. You know what? Just cut in there with your questions.
Oh, I'm just making some covers for them containers here. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So it's easier for the crane operators to spot them.
The containers in the yard are green in wild pines. It's like some red infection was spreading outwards from the container yard's core. There appear to be cisterns underneath the Union container covers.
Oh, I don't know, mister. They say it's some chemicals. Most of them have labels on them, I think.
Yes, they are hiding it from the inside. All the red containers.
No, not really. Mr. Everett doesn't tell me all the big things. Says I go and tell them to everyone. Oh, no trouble at all, mister. No trouble at all. Oh, yes, yes. I leave all kinds of notes. Oh, yes. I've been taking special whirling borscht to the men every day since the strike started. It's very, very good. Makes a man feel so warm and happy. I feel like I could take on Mr. Renadan's boar dogs every time the lunch is done. Yes, yes. I'm taking it to them. The borscht keeps them happy and in fighting spirits. Makes you all warm inside. They brew it in the whirling in rags. Oh, sure, mister.
He didn't actually understand what you meant, and now he's just nodding along.
Oh, that one. That should be empty as far as I know. Lots of containers here have nothing in them. They're just waiting to be loaded up. Oh, you want Mr. Everett then? He's an awfully nice fellow, he is. Him and his brother are both nice fellows. Guys like Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar, his brother, are real good guys. Oh, Mr. Everett is where he always is. In his office, of course. Bye-bye now.
His office is here?
Before you is a walrus of a man seated behind a large desk. He looks up from his work, not the least bit surprised to see you. With great effort, he straightens himself up in his chair, yet says nothing. With a mixture of expectation and impatience, well bottled.
Let's get straight.
Welcome, Mr. Dubois, Mr. Kitsuragi. It's good of you two to stop by. Please, have a seat. I'm Everard Clare. head of the Debarders Union here in Martinez. I'd offer you my hand, but unfortunately my health prevents me from getting up. You understand?
He looks extremely comfortable. The tiny folding chair, on the other hand, looks like a torture device.
You go ahead, detective.
Whatever he has in store for you, it can't be good, he thinks. I'll do my best. Forget about that. What's with this Dubois stuff? You're getting some seriously bad vibes from that name.
Excellent, Mr. Dubois. I can see that you're a reasonable man, and reasonable men can be of great use to one another. So tell me, how can the head of the Debarders Union help a representative of the...
The chair you're sitting on has got to be the most uncomfortable chair in the world. It's violating your backside.
I could have died.
Oh, by the way, I heard you got a rather rude reception from a certain Lawrence Gart. Some people have no manners, it pains me to say. This should take care of that nonsense. It should be sufficient to cover your expenses for a few days and patch over your differences with the cafeteria manager. Go ahead, take it.
Wow, that's 25 real. That's good money. You need it.
I have nothing other.
Okay. I respect a man with principles. No handouts, then. Now, I'd like to set your mind at ease about one other matter. Your lost gun. Let me assure you, Union people are on it as we speak. I've got my best hounds looking for that lost gun.
His slug-like lips. The world is swallowed by a black hole of fear. Only 2 words escape its gravitational pull. Lost and gun. When he said, don't worry, he actually meant, be very worried.
Are you all right, Harry? You say you got this, but you seem a little It's not like you left it loaded. You didn't lose a loaded gun. Local...
It was loaded. There were 2 bullets in it. You always keep at least 2 barrels loaded. God, you're sweating. Your knee is jerking. You're about to cry, aren't you? You're about to cry because you lost your gun and those children are gonna shoot themselves with it.
Mr. Dubois, you don't...
What is this, Mr. Dubois? He keeps repeating. What is he trying to pull at?
Mr. Dubois, Mr. Dubois! Harry!
Keep saying that.
Mr. Dubois!
Maybe you could use your hands somehow, in a kind of throw-in motion, like you're throwing that Mr. Dubois act right back at him. He's Mr. Dubois.
What an odd demonstration of... you got me, Harry. I don't even know what. As entertaining as it was, I'm afraid we're wasting our time. And I'm an extremely busy man, as I'm sure you are too.
Okay, enough. We are here to ask you some questions pertaining to a murder investigation.
Quick, here's your window. Get yourself together and ask him questions. Police officer questions. It is about time to stop embarrassing yourself. Questions will help you regain some of your lost dignity.
Oh, of course. That's your main thing here. That's why you're in Martinez. I know everything that goes on around here, and I would love to discuss it with you. I mean, it's no secret that the lynching is connected to the strike. So much to talk about. Honestly, it's been weighing on me so heavily. I understand you need to interview me. But there's a thing that's been keeping me up at night. I want to talk about the hanging. I mean, if we could just calmly talk, exchange information, we could blow this thing wide open.
Yes, that sounds good. Let's do that.
But I can't think straight with this thing weighing on me. You're police officers, aren't you? I have a crazy idea. You guys are basically door-opening machines, incredibly talented at opening doors.
Incredible.
And I'm sure you're going to open this one with flying colors, Harry. This really is very simple, and there's nothing shady about it.
An excellent opportunity presents itself, sire. You could win the trust of the arch-liar, pretend to play into his hand. Then, should you wish, bend his efforts towards your own.
Harry, I'm a very busy man, and more importantly, I don't have that extraordinary physique you do. You look like you could run around all day.
You want to send someone a message that the police are working for you.
I repeat, I'm a very, very busy man, Mr. Kitsuragi, and therefore I must occasionally... Oh, no one's. It's just a weasel. A weasel lives there. Nothing for you to worry about. A loud blabbering weasel. When weasels feel no one is watching, they start acting foolishly. Just go there, unlock the door, and leave it open. It's been such a burden on me, Harry. I just want this to be over so I can discuss business with you. Harry, my dear friend, I am what people call a local bigwig. I know everything that goes on in Martinez. Of course, Harry, I understand. But if that's the case, I don't think we'll ever... Perhaps this was just bad timing for you. Know that you can always...
Yes, we both understand.
This may be the only way, he thinks. I won't hold it against you. In fact, we probably should reconsider later.
What? Harry, how could you say that to me? You know I appreciate a joke as much as any Johnny fat guy. but I can't take slander. Are you actually in...
The reaction appears to be sincere, but it's impossible to tell with this guy, honestly.
You've hurt me, Harry. Me, a friend. I trust you, like I trust all my friends. And I know you'll never talk to me about this again, because you don't want to wound me. So do what you want.
Thank you for your understanding. We...
You too, Lieutenant.
None taken. Do we have anything else to do here, Harry?
Wait. You need this to get in and out through the gate. Here, you're one of us now. A real red and white Union man. Take care, Harry.
Kingdom of Conscience. The Kingdom of Conscience will be exactly as it is now. Moralists don't really have beliefs. Sometimes they stumble on one, like on a child's toy left on the carpet. The toy must be put away immediately, and the child reprimanded. Centrism isn't change, not even incremental change. It is control over yourself and the world. Exercise it. Look up at the sky, at the dark shapes of the coalition airships hanging there. Ask yourself, is there something sinister in moralism? And then answer, no. God is in his heaven. Everything is normal on earth.
Everything.
The front of this quarterly journal features, to your disappointment, there aren't any. After rifling the page, the magazine is divided into The bullet is still safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp. You can't remember what happened last week. What makes you The tear machine stands in the corner. Your bottles clunk into the machine. Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge. As you tap on the gauge,
No, that's enough fun with the foldable headlights. I know they are mesmerizing. They are also fragile.
inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Not yet, but I was able to convince the database people to sell private sector information. They promised to get back to me by tomorrow morning. Do you have any other questions? 57.
In the cabin, you see the man ponders his cooking utensils and gives you a little nod. The man says a couple of sentences in that strange language of his and then seems to wait. Just one word. Sounds quizzical.
Horse need more vodka?
Okay, so it's vodka that keeps the men happy and in good spirits. Clever move by the Union.
Of course, vodka. Now turning it up seems like a dangerous idea. Honestly, the place is a powder keg. He smiles, nodding vigorously, then pours half a bottle of vodka into the pot. With a whistle, he stirs the brew. He looks up at you. Shrugging is an international sign for
Hello, dear. I didn't notice you at first. Just some field work, sweetie. Morel is a highly trained scientist. He and his assistant Gary are... but they should have returned by now.
the water lock. That was broken. Could this be it?
Oh my. What happened to the water lock? Well, whatever the cause, I'm thankful. to...
You're welcome,
I hate to ask, but if your investigation takes...
This will surely lead to a cryptozoological mystery with that extremely rare insect. Yes, some left-field scientific research is exactly what you need right now. Funk up that vanilla.
And if you see him, let him know Lena is waiting for him here at the Whirling. He gets... Oh, you're such a dear. Thank you, sweetie.
Behind the dockworkers, a ceiling height window. The hawthorn branches scrape the glass like bony fingers. There's a little slide panel up there to let some air in. No need to open it in spring. It's still too cold outside.
This is where you say your bed.
Detective.
Oh, this is about him. A real looker, that one.
You sure took your time, huh? Waited for him to get real ripe and pretty for you.
Oh, he was a real pretty boy. Hanging up there, letting out that pretty boy smell.
I can't for the life of me understand why you did it. I mean, I would've...
You might want to start asking your questions now.
These guys are so macho, they're ready to confess to first-degree murder. Ask if it was them. Do a head count first. Connect these men to the tracks you saw in the yard. Chances are they're going to match. Starting from the right. Boot size 44. Blonde man sitting on his right. Step across at the other table. Hobnailed working boots. And then standard working boot. The emblem on his vest says Rowing Club. A little patch below it reads in the far corner. Standard working boot. Steel reinforced toes. Size 44. 40-something. Non-alcoholic beverage in hand. You squint. Is that a plectrum? On his neck. Forget it. Let's call this one the musician. Size 41. With the light step. Not a child, after all. An old in the middle, heaving and wheezing. Big guy. Boot size 46. Deep marks. Probably carried the victim over. He, alone, is 130 kilos. Add the... In conclusion, these 7 are the actors on the crime scene. The footprints were there exactly. The missing lady driver who was running the drug trade. Does it mean the Hardy Boys are involved in the drug trade as well? Maybe. But hey, you've stood there for about 4 seconds, not saying anything. Now...
The fuck is with you, fella? The pretty boy. You guys really love.
Funny. But my partner and I have a serious matter to discuss with you.
Container belt, like we use in the harbor? Because we took it from the harbor where we work. Then we went out back and used it to hang him. We did this together, all of us, until he was dead. That's why there's a container belt around his neck.
There's a catch hidden somewhere. He didn't confess so that you could take them all away. It's too simple.
There is no catch. These 7 honest men have all equally come forth to tell you what happened, so that you don't waste any more of your time.
How many people have you sent to the Shays? Ever felt remorse for them?
Chaise électrique is the method of capital punishment in Revachol under the Coalition.
Or send them to Reunion to rot. For 20 years. For life.
The River Esperance Correctional Facility, a military prison run by the Coalition, dubbed Reunion by the inmates. The origin of the name is unknown.
But you see, a lawman, is something people agree upon. And here in Martinez, we agreed that this man had to die.
Are you deaf? There will be no singling anyone out. Do you think you could do that? Do you think you could arrest them all?
Who do you fucking think does?
That's right, asshole. Titus Hardy runs the Hardy Boys.
I think you got your answer.
No, you did not get an answer. Titus does administrative work. He pushes paper, fills out forms the others can't read. But on that night, they all acted as one man. You don't have to keep answering his questions.
I know, Lizzie. Relax. We killed him last Sunday night. Seemed like a good way to end the week.
Known him? We don't associate with scum like that, asshole.
Yeah! Who do you think we are?
Quiet. He came around about 3 weeks ago when that Pines cow first sailed into town. Happy?
By the Pines cow, you mean Joyce Messier, the representative for White Pines? The same company you're striking against?
No. I mean the Pines cow. The stupid-ass cow they sent in to fuck us over. But you know what?
This is where he tries to sow discord between you two, because he knows the company is responsible for bringing the mercenaries into town.
Why don't you ask her about the pretty boy? I'm sure she has interesting things to say when you ask her hard enough.
That's enough insinuation for today, Titus. Officer, your interview is drawing to an end. Don't waste your last questions.
Why? 'Cause he was worthless mercenary scum. And he stepped out of line.
What kind of mercenary?
The kind that shows up when you start a strike. The experienced kind, too.
A live grenade, right here in our bar.
This one has a special gripe with him coming here.
I can't prove it, but I know he was sent by the Wild Pines. They hire merc shit like that. Story of every strike from here to Samara. Wrong. He harassed women, raped one, harassed workers, threatened to kill some as a warning.
There's a slight unease in him suddenly. He regrets mentioning the rape.
To kill us all, if we don't open the gates, if we don't let the scabs in, if we don't bend over. That was before he started coming here.
Yeah, he said it was his favorite joint now. Started coming here every night. Drinking, grabbing girls. Grab one of ours mid-karaoke, right?
He grabbed someone?
Yeah. This girl's on the mic. A beautiful girl, young. Gets into the second verse of Lover Lake. The fucker grabs her legs, starts screaming. Show me your cunt! Why don't you show me your cunt? Then, he gets knocked on the head with a wine bottle. Doesn't even fall down.
Aren't you fucking listening? My man is talking to you. He took care of it. They got the girl out before anything else could happen.
Yeah, me and Eugene got her out. Aren't you fucking...
There's something odd here.
No, you're not getting the name. That's a Martinet.
There's nothing you can do for now. He's stonewalling you.
We hanged him up by his neck until he got
Didn't they teach you any?
The autopsy showed there were no ligature marks. His hands were not...
The lieutenant goes in for the leg sweep. Titus does not see it coming.
Look, I'm not gonna play 20 questions with you, capo.
Yeah, I knocked him out. Came up behind him and clubbed him in the back of the head. He went...
That's right, lawman.
Make them a bit more uncomfortable first. Then see if it all adds up. Titus is solid as a rock, and so are a few others. But Elaine, who looks like he might be Titus's right-hand man, the least antsy of the bunch. This little rat-faced fellow is solid, too. Always fidgety, him neither. Mostly keeps to his tomato juice, or whatever he's got there.
No. Of course he's having trouble breathing. Just look at how
Fuck off, Shanky. Angus is a power.
Keep your eye on this powerful guy. Sooner or later, he's going to break like a piece of twig.
My fucking elbow, Copper. Samaran boxing.
Samaran boxing, or Sambo, is an eloquently violent. He may be lying, but he's good at it. No twitching, no rushing, no uncalled for details.
Right fucking here. Eugene already told you that the fuck.
Yeah, man. Weren't you listening?
And fuck you, too, Copper. Picking on Angus like this.
His all-muscle comment wasn't sarcastic. He's genuinely trying to look out for Angus. This one is a stone wall. You won't get more out of them about the night of the murder.
Like what, Copper? Huh?
There was a bullet in the dead man's brain. Why was it there if you hanged him?
How the fuck do I know? Anyone could have shot him. Target practice, maybe.
Interesting, sire. It's as if he's lying to protect someone. He's not very good at it.
This line of questioning is over. You got the cause of death already? Hanging. If there's any post-mortem trauma, it's your problem. This will not turn into a cross-examination. Nothing. Your investigation here is done. Leave Martinez, go back to your stations where you belong.
I think we're going to stick around, thanks. Some things don't add up here, Titus. I've done this job for long enough to know that people don't just confess to first-degree murder. Even if it is a group responsibility. We're going...
Good luck with that. You've heard everything a rent-a-cop is gonna hear from us. Real law official.
Rent-a-cop? So that's what this is about. He doesn't see you as his equals.
What are you talking about, madman? There's no 8th Hardy Boy. Or what? You want to be the 8th...
Actually, boss, we've been talking and we think she could maybe...
This person Glenn wants to hire, he really respects her. She? So there's an 8th Hardy, and it's a Hardy girl?
Shut the fuck up, Glenn! I do the talking.
So let me get this straight. There is an 8th Hardy boy. It's a she, and...
That's right. We're not talking about this. This is a private Hardy Boys matter. Nothing to do with your shit. And you're not cops here. Don't go...
Good. We are all watching each other.
There's no point in pushing it further, he thinks. This is already a victory. We'll learn more about this 8th Hardy sooner or later.
Like hell you have. There is no local drug.
We'll do that. In the meantime, did you know that there's an abandoned lorry at the intersection that was used to move rope? The person driving it was present at the hanging. It was one of you. We've connected the footprints. Detective, do you want to deliver the coup de grâce?
The thought forms in your head, like a lightning. No, the thunder is his. Leave it to the lieutenant.
Thank you. You're right, Titus. There is...
That's a mighty interesting theory. I guess that's what you would need to do, theoretically. A big, strong, state-run monopoly would outcompete the runts on the street.
Yeah, man. Theoretically, that's what you would do. To get rid of the...
You would need good, trustworthy people to take their place, of course. Hardy men to run such a monopoly. For the good of the community, of course. No, there aren't. Some little shit and his dad are doing speed.
Little shit. That's Kuno in the yard.
Whatever you've seen is peanuts.
Theoretically, of course.
Not quite yet, Mr. Hardy. There were 8 sets of prints.
My answer is... fuck off.
Finally, you got something out of him. This could prove useful in the future.
And here we go. Back to the usual.
I know! Fatty walked on all 4s. He's so fucking fat he left 2 sets of footprints.
Despite everything, the little man is quick on his feet.
Go fuck your mom, Dennis.
That's more like it, boys. You heard him. It was Angus on all 4s. Anything else you need to know?
It's you again. What is it? Yeah, by friends.
Wouldn't want to beat up his grandma.
This is what happens if you take the law into your own hands. Other people start doing it too.
Let them come. The Hardy Boys are right fucking here.
You heard the man. Right here. We're armed. We got the whole
Yeah, a well-oiled murder machine.
The fuck is that supposed?
We're not bees. We're men. We're so...
Easy, E. He's trying to phase you. What are you trying? So are the local gangs. The fucking Barmy Army. And
Yeah. Where are they now, huh? Sent back to Madre in an...
These people are trained military professionals.
no, they're not. They're uncoordinated and drunk. We got weapons of our own. We got Ister 50s, Zeelagers. Glenn's got a knock can. I guess we're gonna see, aren't we? Yeah, like you've been up against ceramic armor. You haven't even seen the whole suit, right? I've seen big fucking surprise. They hire psycho scum, arm them to the teeth, and let them loose into... What do you mean, okay?
What is the point of that?
No, they won't. Get out of here.
He really doesn't like you ruffling their feathers like that, on what might be the eve of battle.
All he means is that the situation is serious.
No wonder you cops get shot to shit every day. Can't go to war with an attitude like that. Again.
Good one, Titus.
Yeah, lawman.
It's almost an anthropological sight.
Not in the arrest.
By your side, the lieutenant keeps his hand easy. Walk back from the provocation. While the little rat-faced man reaches into his sleeve.
Wise move. About fucking time. You still...
Indeed. Might.
Well, there's...
It's bound to happen again, you know?
Sire, it would be an event most dramatic if you were to produce the bullet and dangle it before their very eyes.
Wow.
Why don't you go home and log it into evidence? These...
You know what I think? I think he was shot in the head as a kid. And his brain grew around the bullet.
Around the bullet, man. That's a good one.
All the goofing around is to avoid... They're only pretending to enjoy this. Beneath the act, they don't like you knowing this.
Shit! I probably did shoot him. I was drunk last night. You guys know me.
Yeah, Glenn likes to shoot his guns when he's drunk.
No, he meant before he was hanged.
Before? After? During?
Never been worried.
It's not like he blew it wide open, but there's a little crack in there, somewhere.
I'll be...
Yes? Hello? Me? No one. I'm just a working class woman.
She doesn't really want to be disturbed then. If she's such a working class woman, why isn't she working?
Looking for something to read. It is.
Policeman.
I know you are.
Do you need that? Policeman.
Hello again. How can I help you? Someone else came here.
This is a pawn shop, and the lieutenant shifts from one foot to another. Alert.
She didn't say, truth be told.
Right, so let me...
Miraculously, his face does not reveal what's happening inside.
You're right that she could cast aspersions on the Force.
Of course.
A rusting control panel with loose wires dangling out. This panel usually closes the water lock.
It's you again. What is it?
As you look around this room full of sweaty men, swearing, drinking, spitting out tobacco, does this look familiar? You believe the place was called Precinct 41. It was also filled with, almost exclusively, men, sitting on desks,
Huh? You got a problem with beer now?
Not quite there yet. Push on.
Speak for yourself, buddy. We've been giving a shit for...
They don't know, man. They weren't here. We had 3 shootings a week. Kids...
Congratulations on the graffiti removal. All I see is you sitting around talking about Monica's titties.
So what? What do you want from...
Don't let him drink that. One more just don't antagonize him. You have this already.
It's
Titus?
She stops mid-sentence. That's it. You got him. He's going to give it up, but on his terms.
You want to talk to her, cop? Fine. I'm gonna let you talk to her, but you treat her with respect. If you don't, if you question her, harass her.
What is her name?
Glacia, I'm on due. She's staying here at the Whirling in Rags, a real pretty one. Silvery jumpsuit, blonde. That's I'm on due, with an O-U.
Shit. The girl upstairs? That can't be her. She knows you drank so hard you forgot you were a cop.
Sure, why not? You've probably seen her around.
You inexplicably and...
I don't understand what's so cool here.
Nothing. We just have a few more questions. Then we'll be on our way.
Whatever you do, do not tell him you know her. That would sound off.
Remember what I said. Freight train of pain.
Officer, what was that? Yes. The victim? Is there something I should know before we talk to her? Understood. You were not in good shape on Monday. Okay, that's manageable. So she overheard you?
So this is what it feels like to be interviewed. You'll get through it.
Anything else? That's clearly your interrogation technique. Anything else? We'll be all right, officer. This is nothing.
You feel fortified by his assurance. The door is closed.
Who is it?
Tired. Controlled.
This is the police. Can we come in?
Come on up. The door is open. I'm drying my hair.
Sounds like it's coming from upstairs somewhere. You could snoop around before going up. This medicine cabinet is full of wares. Sheets of pills. It's been used quite a lot. Pharmaceuticals line the shelves. Sheet upon sheet of pill bottle. Next to pill bottles rattle like bones as you search. Nacra. This is used to treat opioid overdoses. Always
interesting. That's used for diamorphine overdoses.
You could say he's on the lookout. Among some foreign, probably Messinian or Gotvaldian, marked red blister packs you find. What do you find? This is going to take a bright orange bottle with Preptide stamped on it, in sunny, happy letters. Jackpot, baby. That's the stuff you're looking for. Your palm. This window, is pristine on the inside, unlike the one next to it. Light from the desk lamp reflects off the glass in an untarnished golden halo, smooth as ice. There are spots of mud and rain on the outside, even smudges. But the surface of the window is clear from the inside. No chips, no hairline fractures. Following your lead, the lieutenant leans in closer to inspect the surface.
Looks like it, yes.
Just as you look at the flowers, a gust of wind raises them from the roof, picking them up in the air. You catch a single white flower between your finger. The young woman looks at the Maybell in your hand. Just a glance. The lieutenant gives you an acknowledging little nod.
Welcome to the roof.
Her hair is still slick from the shower. Below her silvery jumpsuit, an athletic young body, built.
I'm sorry for the mess down there. The cleaning lady hasn't come by in days. I'm beginning to wonder if she ever will. It's much nicer now.
Where the dead body used to hang, clearly visible from the roof.
Thank you for that, officers. Truly.
There is something in her light brown eyes, a sadness, when she thinks about the death of that man.
Oh yes, legends of room number 1 have made their way around the building. They say a portal to hell has opened in there. They also say that's why the cleaning lady quit. Because of the infernum.
I'm Kim Kitsuragi. I'm a detective from Precinct 57. I believe you have already met my colleague from Precinct 41.
Have I ever? This is the biggest fan of ostentatious orchestrations I've... Oh yeah. Life gets hard, but we go on.
The chorus of the 35 single, megaphoning the entire human race, instills you with the fuck it all swagger that prompts one to plow into grannies on your morning stroll.
Okay.
I can see that. I'm glad all this onward going has brought you to me.
Miss, we are investigating the murder of the man down there. The people who put him there have asked us to talk to you.
Huh. I see.
Be careful. Ask something else first. When you go there, use words like, I hear you have been through something difficult. She looks at the dried petals in your palm, then lightly touches one with her fingernail. Chipped white polish covers the nail. It's long and sharp, like a mini dagger.
Pretty. Looks like a dried Maybell. Is that the one you caught? Sambo style? Why was there a flower on the roof?
Or an admirer? She watches you pocket the petals, then closes her eyes as she breathes in the cigarette fumes.
Clasier Amandu. Vredefort, Republic of Oranje.
Wasn't the tattoo on the hanged man an Oranese map of the waterways? The thought begins to form in your head, then dissipates. Something for later.
I'm 28. Something stupid. Oranese lit. Oranese literature. It's what I studied at the university. Back to me. Nothing. I do nothing with it. It's not very cool, but what can you do? A bad memory, officer. It's the past. People can't go back to the past. The record, so official. Yeah, it's pretty deluxe. I'm wintering.
How long have you been staying here?
About 4 months. I came in November. Here in the Whirling, here in Martinez, or here in Revachol. Because it's the funkiest building in Martinez. And because all the other buildings are bombed to hell. It is.
The lieutenant makes a note in his notebook. He finds the answer unsatisfying.
Thank you. I've put a lot of time and effort into it.
Technically, possession of narcotics is legal in Revachol, but you should still reprimand her. No, don't listen to the stiff. Be cool.
With money, sir. It's not exactly the anti-star size caboodle I intend for it to be one day, but it's getting there.
The anti-star is, or was, a vespertine rock and roll star who liked to do drugs. He did so many drugs, he eventually mutated into a corpse.
Comes in handy when you've done too many opioids.
Is that something that happens to you often, miss?
Better safe than sorry. Oh, yes. One of my favorites. Like, not being able to stay up for 36 hours. Not being happy. It cures those ailments. It's just a merit speed molecule, basically. Very funky. Okay.
Watching herself reflected in the bedroom window, tall and sparkling and draped in smoke.
Something difficult? I've been through at least half a dozen difficult things. Which one do you mean? By sexually assaulted, you mean raped?
Yes.
It's a bit early in the morning for raped, isn't it?
She sounds positively buoyant, vivacious, totally unbothered.
Is it? It is afternoon. Time flies, man. Yeah, I'm gonna go with not raped. I don't want to say that shit about him.
By him, she must mean the victim.
Tell them it's not my style. They'll have to, you know, if they want to jazz up the charges, they'll have to get someone more, rapeable.
Are you saying that you were asked to tell us you were assaulted?
Not explicitly, but I understood what they meant. It wouldn't hurt to spice things up a bit. Some assault and battery. Sexual assault, maybe. It was clear the latter would be spicier. Pretty much.
Warming them.
We partied. With all due respect, sir, I think we partied a little harder than that. Oh, it is. You're still alive.
What did you do when you partied?
We drank, sir. A lot. For weeks, basically. We had that effect on each other. We made each other drink harder. That's why I liked him.
What else?
Stimulants. Speed also has that effect, making you drink harder. And then drinking harder makes you do more speed. It's quite the combination. We also had sex. A little. The drugs were good enough, and we did enough of them.
How did you two meet?
Downstairs, at the bar. He was on some sort of assignment, a military man, as you probably know. Had a cool, scary scar.
She appears aloof, but that scar part, the scary, is stressed and drawn out. What's that about? Apprehension? With longing. She misses him.
When was this?
A month ago? Something like that. Oh yes. I've had a great view. From the roof, out of the bathroom window, in my dreams.
You called us, the RCM.
Yes.
Jackpot.
I made it. And I would appreciate it if you didn't tell everyone. In Martinez, they call it snitching.
Reporting crimes is confidential in Revachol, miss.
I didn't exactly disguise it. I just muffled the mic and nicked the landline a little. With nail clippers. And I diverted some radio fuzz into it. Into the cold wire.
You were right to suspect there might be foul play involved with the broken phone line.
Did I? Fuck. I didn't mean to. I had no idea what I was doing.
Still, that's pretty clever tampering. Simple and clever. Crossing the lines like that.
Thanks.
She looks a bit like a little girl who's just been complimented on her bike repair skills.
I don't know, sir. It was stupid. I was drunk, too. I was probably afraid the union was listening in. Locals say they have ears in the wires.
Thank you for making the call, miss. It was the right thing to do.
I didn't want to, sir. But if I hadn't, he'd still be hanging there. I'm sorry, I can't do it. Not right now. Later, maybe. I keep seeing him. Like he is now. I can't talk about his... I don't know... hair.
I know it's difficult, miss. We can return to it later.
She meant she sees him in her dreams. You pissed it all away. All of it. Elysium.
He had something to do with the strike. One has been roiling since I got here. Rotten timing. But you probably know all about it.
And his role in this strike was... what?
I think he was in a security detail. He was ex-military. Worked for Wild Pine.
And they lynched him for it?
She nods.
Bullet? They shot him too?
I'm not picking up on any theatercraft here, sir. The pause is sincere.
They stripped his clothes and they shot him?
You mean after they hanged him?
I'm confused, sorry.
So am I. Were you aware that he had also been shot, miss?
Things are starting to go a little over my head here. I thought he was hanged. I was not present when they did it. I don't know what happened. I just know what they told me. And Sylvie, the bartender.
This is beginning to get confusing for you too, and we don't like that. Where was she last Sunday night?
Cowering. I was cowering downstairs with Sylvie. They're frequent guests. Downstairs, they have a booth for union members. They're probably down there now. Over drinks. It's been a long, boring winter. A little, yeah.
Like you partied with the deceased?
No, not as hard.
I'm sorry to have to ask this, but have you had a physical relationship with any of the Hardy Boys?
I have. Which ones, sir? I don't remember precisely. Titus, obviously. But as I said, It's been a long winter.
Could that have been part of the reason they hanged him?
I hope not. Actually, I know that's not the reason. I'm careful about that kind of thing. Not crossing the wires, you know? But that's probably where they got the rape idea. Men like that? I don't know. It's the way their imaginations work. I suspect it's what they'd like to do to me.
She breathes a silvery sigh of relief and weariness. The air on the roof feels humid.
Should we head by downstairs, officer? We may have things to discuss there.
As you turn, a bright light catches your eye, making you squint. From a distant sunset, a stage light, flash photography, nowhere in particular. It's just what superstar law officers do. They squint at lights, and they solve shit. What are you, deaf? They're perfect, like rock star politician and drug addict teacher. Embrace the superstardom you've worked so hard to establish. Yeah, you have. You're a big dick cop. Dick. This window is pristine.
Looks like we have more to discuss with those so-called Hardy boys. Half their reasoning just went out the window. Nothing will make them respect the RCM, but it will disrupt the game they prepared for us. We just stripped off one layer of whatever it is. Her decision to not corroborate their story was definitely not part of the plan. What else could she have done? Lie? She saw there was no way to lie and get away with it. If not you, then me. It was a smart move from her. You think so? Being candid is the best way to lie. The appearance of candor with some facts thrown in draws attention away from whatever one chooses to omit. She may be trying to control the pace of the investigation. Anyway, we should move. I suspect our inquiries will bring us back here soon enough.
It's you again. What is it? Again? Seriously, man. Fine. Fire away. Yeah, whatever. Fuck! I knew that fucking whore couldn't be trusted.
You've hit a nerve. Titus is furious. No, more than that. The loyal Titus feels betrayed.
For the record, Titus Hardy did not explicitly specify the victim as a whore, nor did he say anything about trusting her.
Oh, shut up and stay out of this, Liz. He raped her. He was out of his fucking mind. You have no idea.
She's just in denial, asshole. You don't understand the traumatic experience. She's shutting down, and she doesn't fucking trust you.
Yeah, she's crazy, you know. A crazy bitch. You know the type. She's fucked up.
She wasn't raped. The witnesses' statements were very clear.
Lawman, I'm at the end of my goddamn rope with you. I fucking told you not to push her. And you went and pushed her. I am gonna fucking
hit you. Duck.
Titus Hardy.
Success. Titus backs off. Fists down, everybody.
Everard, personally sent me to take care of this. If this goes south, we'll all be in the shit. But you, Titus Hardy, are going to be buried. Am I understood?
The room is so quiet you could hear a pin drop. The rest of the cafeteria has gone quiet, too. Someone has to rush in to break the tension. The second in command.
Look, Copper. We know that fuck was a rapist and a killer. We got him confessing to it on tape. Show it to him, T. What's the harm, right?
Here, jerkwad. Listen to this shit. And then come back and tell me the soldier of the apocalypse was an innocent man.
This is their last play, this tape. Their story is in tatters, a mess. It might be nice to listen to, but at this point, you don't need to.
You don't care about evidence. The fuck are you?
Pigs, T. They don't care about...
I won't be on your bulletin board. If you... What's on it? We call it the door gun a mega mix. You'll know why, won't you? Think we go into this shit deaf and dumb. You RCM aren't the only one. We have machines. We're in logistics.
Understood? You've listened in on their...
Since way before their chief started taking swing lessons.
Things got nice and quiet after that.
It's not advanced. You just hold up in a coop all day, writing down what the...
Don't put yourself down, Angus. It's important work.
Yeah, man. You're like a radio genius or something. Those notes are some...
I'm sure we can find a tape player.
Where can I listen to this?
What? Yeah, play it with your ass, cocksucker.
I'm sure we can find a tape player. It's not a problem.
Your room had one. Or maybe it's too broken.
Don't forget your tape, lawman. Compliments of Titus Hardy. You do that. Oh, and keep it. Maybe you'll need a reminder of human ugliness someday.
Six crumbling petals rest on your...
This is the Insulindian lily, called Mabel's or Lucille's tears during the Revolution. Girls used to pin these on soldiers before sending them off to battle.
This flower is a spring flower, but it's a bit early for that, isn't it?
Yes, but not this early. Not to my knowledge. It looks dried, preserved. Maybe. Maybe not. We'll see. The revolutionaries, so the communers and the anarchists. White's their color. It's about girls and boys more than sides. Girls sending off boys who are going to their deaths, then also dying themselves in the ruins from dysentery and consumption.
The petals feel dry and fragile. Wait, have you noticed there's a war veteran playing a ball game on the plaza? You stare at the Great Door Gunner Megamix. The tape feels ominous. Upon it, the dead speak. Respect the tape. The tear machine stands. Your bottles clunk into the machine.
Can I help you? Got the 20 real? Good. You got the room for the night, but remember, you'll need another 20 real tomorrow.
I have really...
Yes.
René. Hello, officer. How might I be of assistance on this fine day?
The purity of snow always reminds me of the purity of a man. I prefer the old name, Insulindian Lily. Girls brought them to young cadets when they entered service. Wearing them on your cap was supposed to bring good luck. It used to be. But the communards were fond of them too. Call them revolutionary flowers. You know what? No. They brought me misery, false hope, and disappointment. The revolutionaries sullied them.
You stirred up some bad memories there.
But it wasn't the revolutionaries that sullied the ID for you, was it? She gave them to me too, and your jealous little heart just couldn't accept it.
Enough! I can go over these matters in detail.
Maybells don't blossom yet, do they?
Maybe on some remote parts of the city they do. But I think you'll have to wait for at least a month.
Yes?
The dusty radio computer sleeps on its wired frame. The machine lights up like some prehistoric animal stirring from its slumber, revealing it's empty like a beehive without its...
This is where the memory should go.
Nothing happened. Something's missing. Nothing happens. Tiles on the cube are... A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace. Looks like this furnace has a face, and it's a face of agony. It's dark and grimy here. In the darkness you can hear chatter. It's coming from above. A voice or several voices talking to each other. The echo is so prominent, it's impossible to...
What are you doing? Wait, really? We should investigate, see if someone's upstairs.
The bear's eyes are still glowing red. few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in.
Seems like an old bunker from the revolutionary period. Look at... There is, yes. And there also appears to be something inside the hole. Interesting.
Your hand reaches deep into darkness and spiderwebs.
Are these any good?
Most of them are rusty and inoperable, like the rest. But one catches your eye. A bolt-action model with a fine wood stock. Take it. You're a police officer. Police officers carry guns.
That's a rare sight. Seems to no longer be functional, but still a beautiful thing in its own way. It's the same type of weapon, yes, a breech loader. An interesting coincidence that we should find something so similar. But I'm afraid our search for the real murder weapon must continue. It means there are firearms, albeit inoperable, still lying around in Martinez. It's an interesting coincidence, I would say. Might come in useful in the future.
He likes this find. Two cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads to the ice bear fridge, and the black one to the ice cream maker nearby. An iron safety curtain curves before your eyes, folded like a bellows. It covers half the room, blocking the way into a colossal industrial chimney. This must be where the entity lives. This is directly above the central furnace in the cellar. The voices probably came from here. What an odd thing to do. Nothing happens. Still nothing. Those curtains prove to be surprisingly sturdy.
There must be another way to wake up whoever is in there. Maybe...
Tiles on the cube are like a smooth draw. The filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the play key starts blinking. A bar of fabric right above the keyboard starts producing a soft hum. Have you stirred the ghost of the doomed commercial area from its rest? Could this be its dismembered heart beginning to flutter? The static gets louder, slowly filling up.
Good afternoon. Fortress accident en rue de Saint-Ghislaine. This is East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the production schedule? The filament you have inserted into the reader. Yes. Is that the production schedule? Good. Please repeat the password.
Password? Of course it would have a password. You should ask her for a hint.
No.
A hint system is not part of the protocol for repeater stations.
Received. I will register this login attempt.
Don't worry. Passwords have a way of...
Fortress Accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today? Fortress Accident is the company on whose name the terminal you are currently using has been registered to. One moment. Fortress Accident SCA produces revolutionary interactive call-in radio games. That's what the...
That's not bad.
Any other questions? Yes, I am alive. I am 74 years old and my name is Yvonne.
She repeats passwords. Programming people are all paranoid.
I work as a repeater at the East Insulindian repeater station. As for me, well, I am sitting in my cubicle.
Doesn't it get lonely, sitting there all by herself?
Lonely? Why would it get lonely? I get to talk to people all day.
That's why she does this.
Now, please tell me if there's anything else I can do, Fortress Accident. Thank you, and...
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering. The filament slides out of its glowing nest.
You're alive and well. Do keep... Yes, yes. How was...
Tell her how ghastly it was. You know it's what she wants to hear.
But what else did you find?
You don't have anything of substance to tell her until you found that entity of hers. East Delta Commerce Center. This must be the name of the doomed commercial area. Silence. No one's home at Fortress Accident. The compact tape player is still and silent. The machine was made in Revachol, but there's no fixing this one.
This would have been very helpful with the Megamix. But it isn't anymore. My kinema only comes with radio. Let's try to find a new tape player. Perhaps we should talk to Roy at the pawn shop.